And welcome back to Connect with Jade Harrell, proudly powered by the TV Network. And we are in our new home at the TV studios. We are continuing today because we're holding space for a deeply important conversation, something that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. And we're talking about fatherhood. We are talking about not just the role or the title, but the real lived experience of these middlemen, these middle-aged somethings, young men who are fathers and will be sharing their perspective today, but how they are showing up, growing up, and pouring into others as fathers. So this panel includes real stories, real reflection, and real power and presence. So I'll start with you, gentlemen. Please introduce yourselves and your ages and names of your children.
All right, my name is Marcus Creighton, and as far as I know, I just have two. I have Olivia, who is 18. She'll be 19 in August, and I have Mariah, who is just turned 17. So they're about 18 months apart.
Okay, two girls as well. All right, and how about you, sir? Dapper Dan?
Hello, thanks for having me.
My name is Denale Powell. I have a daughter that's 19, Marina Castro Lester, and then a 5-year-old Heavy D, Devon Vaughn. Yeah, I have the two.
Okay, that's a big gap there between them. It does as well. And you as well, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So, hello, my name is Seth Miller. I have a daughter that's 14 and a son that would be 21.
Okay. And how old are you gentlemen, by the way?
I'm 45.
45?
I'm 45, be 46 in a couple.
Dang. Shouts out to Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle. I'll never stop. Exactly. Payback. And how about you, Marcus?
I'm the most mature. I'm 55.
You're 55. No, we double nickels together, brother. You thought I was gonna. I'm in the same space, but we are trying to get a sense of what fatherhood is like. Think about where you are with fatherhood, and what is it that fatherhood taught you that no one could have prepared you for, Marcus?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
Taught me that no one could have prepared me for. I mean, none of us get the manual in the mail when we become parents. So it's all on-the-job training. One of the most important things is you have to learn patience. They are not you. They won't get it as fast as you will. So you have to remember they're in their own space and they have to remain children. And as a parent, you do all the events, you witness other things. And I know I've seen some people try to treat their kids like they're adults, but I've made it a priority to make sure they stay children. And that's in their activities, in their education, and how they learn, the pace that they learn. And slowly but surely, my job is to make sure my foot remains behind them to get them over the finish line into adulthood. But it has to be a process that works. And, like one of the things, my daughter is really good at drawing. I don't know where she got it from, but to me, it seemed like if she honed that skill, she could be one of the best making movies and all this other stuff. But when you force a child to do something they like to do, it no longer is a hobby, it becomes work. So as bad as I kind of wanted to, I just always held off and I let her do it her way. And she's thrived with it. I mean, they just put some of her artwork in Lindenwood University.
My, impressive, and congratulations.
So I'll sit back.
You'll leave it alone for now?
Patience.
Is that because these are two daughters?
Partly because I have 2 brothers and 7 nephews. So these are the first 2 young ladies in my family in 2 generations. So none of us knew what to do.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So Denale, I got to come to you with the major difference in ages of your children.
Yes.
Describe what you've discovered matters the most as a father for you.
What matters most is, again, you can't get back time. So spending that time with them in their spaces too, and then making sure you're really being intentional about not just there sitting on the couch, but really finding out what they like to do in their and meet them where they're at, kind of thing, and not try to put your experiences on them, and this kind of, and to be there as kind of a guide. So with the age difference, is obviously different with a teenager in college, at Clark in Atlanta, and so it's different there than
When you got college and
then a 5-year-old getting into kindergarten. So it's different. but teaching us the
kindergarten.
important principles and then foundation, really the foundational core values in it.
Okay. Well, so Seth, the question I want to ask you is, how do you find the balance between your vulnerability and your emotional strength and at the same time?
Great question. Well, I would say first thing is being able to be compassionate and utilizing what I didn't have growing up. So I'm not originally from here. I'm from the east side of Detroit, but it took some time as I served in the military after 21 years to connect with individuals that knew things that I didn't know. And the second thing I would say was therapy, being able to say what I did not know. And I believe that that helped me by being transparent and understanding what type of father I wanted to be instead of looking back and saying what I didn't have.
That's deep. That's deep. How does the comparison of the father that you are compared to what you thought fatherhood should or would be? What myths have been blown from your personal experience?
Myths. The main myth that Black men get in general is that they're not present, and that's absolutely not true. I'm the guy that takes them to the doctor's appointments, the dentist appointments. I'm the one that gets them up for school, took them to fix them breakfast, took them to daycare. I'm the one that picked them up from school, all the plays, all the sports. You have to be at everything. And so that's one of the biggest myths. And not just me, but I'm around a bunch of brothers that are always there and are always around. And the important piece is paying attention to your kids. And so once you learn who they are and what they are, when they do things that aren't normal, you're able to react. So.
That's good. I heard Shaquille O'Neal talking with his son about, if you're going to choose this path, then you need to be sure, because you know how many things I missed, how many times I wasn't there. As you're looking at building career, you're in the middle of a number of different, really impactful initiatives. How do you keep or restore the joy of fatherhood when you're caught in that in between?
Oh, well, that's the.
It's either me and where I'm going or being present. You can't be in two places at one time, the song would say.
Absolutely. You gotta have the light switch. I mean, like to me, fatherhood is I would do a whole bunch of, serial entrepreneur and that, but it's fatherhood is where I lock in. Like I say, I make sure I'm present. Like when I'm at the flag football, the coach for flag football for I-9 sports, it's critical to me and it's important because you can't get that time back.
I see. Seth, I want to kind of touch on the idea of when fatherhood is hard and thankless and compounded with just being a Black man in general. How do you pour back into yourself so that you can show up?
No, absolutely. I believe that it's being intentional about understanding your cup, understanding what you need, and also understanding the old adage that you can't pour from an empty cup. And by being able to communicate with those loved ones saying, hey, I want to take care of this and that, but in order for me to give you the best version of myself, I have to create that for myself. You get what I mean? Meaning if it's a safe space, being able to commune with my brothers, or being able to just listen to music or have a staycation somewhere, so that I can be able to show up with you, to you, and for you 100%, not anything less.
So what about for and you speak a lot on men's mental health.
Correct.
You've written a number of books. What about for the brother who's struggling, where, it's not just a matter of being able to flip a light switch. It's, I'm at my bandwidth. I've been stretched too thin. What do they want from me? DMX. What do they want?
Right.
What then do you have to draw from when you are empty and don't know where to find a replenishing source?
Absolutely. I would say to utilize that discernment and understand how you feel and sit in it, right? If you are tired, give yourself that space to know that you are tired. If you need to cry, create that space. And sometimes you don't have to communicate it because not everybody's going to be able to pick up what you're putting down. But if you need to cry, real men cry, or real men laugh. So being able to do that but listening to yourself instead of waiting for someone to tell you how you should feel.
Yeah, I love how you like bracing for my question. There are two people that are not represented in this room that are key to fatherhood, I believe. And there's probably more. There's the mothers of your children and your fathers. And or father figures, what do you want either of those two to either understand or to know that you forget? I'm sorry, that you understand or that you forgive of either of those?
You have to be the type of person and individual that just understands the role you signed up for. As he mentioned a little while ago, you might be up to your wits in it, but guess what? That's the reason my shoulders are strong. That's the reason my emotional strength is strong, because you catch it from everywhere. But what are you going to do? You got to keep moving. So, like, again, my daughter, she started high school during COVID, and it was rough. So, again, earlier I mentioned pay attention to your kids. I paid attention to her, and I noticed she went 5 months without talking to friends. And I would ask her, have you talked to such and such? And no. So we made a decision to put her in therapy. And because of that decision, she did a 180. So last year, she graduated high school, magna cum laude, 7 honors cords, 4 medals, 2 stoles, and she got $1.4 million in scholarships from 15 schools.
But how does she feel?
She feels great. But that's how you know. What you mentioned is, if they're not around, or what would you want them to know? You look at the result, and the result is, even though she went through a lot, and we went through a lot, the little girl crossed the finish line. She's not done. So my foot, and I let her know that I'm still your parent, and my foot, that feeling you're going to feel behind you is my foot keeping you going until you actually get across the finish line. So I was taught, use a velvet hammer. You tap them. When they get out of line, you tap them back. It's like having bricks that are not in shape. You tap them, but you don't break them. And as long as you just slightly keep tapping, that gets them back in track, whether it's their, teaching them how to drive, get in their car, making sure you're not driving around on the gas tank is on empty. When's the last time you washed your car? Take care of what you have. It's a never ending cycle, and you just have to do that. But what shows me that, the results are there is when they cross that finish line.
I love that. What do you want your father to know you understand or forgive?
Forgive. Well, one, I think now, parents been married 50 plus years. I had a great childhood, so I had the blueprint. So I figured for me, it was important to learn and take what he did, and I had a great childhood, and the things that I didn't like, and then see how I want to be a father and show up for that. Again, he was definitely there, but it wasn't as, I'm more hands-on to the point that Marcus meant I'm constantly doctor's appointments, school, field trips, all that. That's important to me. Not saying it wasn't to him, but just being intentional, and even being the, just kind of going above and beyond. So I'm the one that have the family meetings. That's me. Obviously my wife, super good partner. She's super mom, but having a system in place and a team and an understanding, just let them know that, thank you for laying that foundation, but now I'm taking it to the next level in my perception.
Mm-hmm. And Seth, so for you, I would like you to answer the question for many of us.
Okay.
What do we need to understand and forgive as mothers and women that are in your immediate, support circles and around to be a great father, even better? Like, what supports do you need us to get that we might not already?
Absolutely. Well, very briefly, I would say the first thing would be to listen and don't judge, and try not to. And I mean actively listen. And then also to incorporate that compassion and to understand, like my brother said earlier, there is no manual to this, and you never know where a man came from, but see him from where he is.
I love that. Well, we're going to close out with just a good message to our fathers. And if you would, if they're watching right now, what is your Father's Day message to them for today and helping them go forward? We'll start with you, Seth, and then end with you.
I would say it's all right. We're in this together. You don't have to do it alone. That's it. You don't have to do it alone.
I would say you are enough, whether you starting from birth or whether you're getting back into it, you are enough, and keep that fight. Keep that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you believe it or not, they pay attention to everything that you do. The only way to guarantee failure is to quit. So just don't quit. Keep pushing, keep trying. They're listening, they're watching. Be the person you want them to imitate.
Now, this is pretty serious. You got a dad joke or something? Can we let off on some kind of encouragement? No, those are good. And actually, I appreciate that tremendously. That is because we needed to acknowledge and listen to fathers. And if this is our first example or opportunity to do so, I thank y'all for giving us the chance and putting voice to it. Let's continue to have dialogue and understand our brothers even deeper. So happy Father's Day to you. And you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And to all our fathers in our audience and those that are watching, we appreciate you. And we will continue to connect with you on a deeper level so that we can all be great as families. Whether you're a father, you have one or miss one, you're figuring it out in your own way, it's that makes fatherhood special. So any of those questions or affirmations, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us at the Connect with Jade Harrell show at connectwithjadeharrell.com. And this is how we will grow stronger together. We'll be back with more.